Could you do like a 2023 Indian foreign policy for dummies kind of?
No.
Because it's too complex?
No, because it's so dynamic. No, it changes every other day. But yes, let me just, if I was to just say what is different in the way foreign policy is done today as compared to maybe 10 years back or 15 years back, I think India, it's basically the India story, right? When Modi came in 2014, there's one section which thought that we're going to have a very muscular foreign policy. That means we're going to be aggressive towards our neighbors and towards how we position ourselves internationally. What you don't realize, or what people didn't realize, it to have a muscular foreign policy, first you have to have domestically, you have to be strong now. How can you be aggressive towards anybody, and for no reason you can't be aggressive? How is it going to serve your purpose? So unless you're domestically strong, unless your manufacturing industry, unless your exports, unless you're strong and your economy is doing well, aggression is zilch. Then you will be like a Pakistan which is aggressive. Just because of your geopolitical thing, तुमने एक suicide vest पहन लिया and aggressive हो गए, that I'll blow up anybody who comes. So I'm aggressive. That kind of aggression doesn't work in a democracy. We are a functioning democracy. So I think many people misunderstood the muscular democracy kind of muscular foreign policy in doing that. What did happen was that the BJP is not a shrinking violet. So they are not from that non-aligned movement. Hum sweet se log hain piche baith ke. No, they're rising to the occasion. And here we now have a foreign policy where we have decided, or we are telling the world that our voice matters. Because not just because we are 1.4 billion today, but we are also representative of these developed nations which want a strong voice, which talks about equality, which talks about that you cannot have any organization like a UN Security Council or any organization today without an India rep. What are you talking about? How? And as we get a voice of our own, I think our foreign policy is getting more confidence. I think our stand, our young officers, when they go, speak with a sense of purpose, with a sense of pride. When an officer goes and speaks at the UN, she knows that she represents a country which believes in our values of free speech, in freedom and in democracy. We have our fissures, we have our flaws, but I think there is a confidence in our youth, there is a confidence in our policymakers today.
Okay. What are our flaws?
Which many of us, we are a noisy democracy. So we are people who will voice our opinions. We are somebody who we have our diversity, which is our strength, but the diversity also causes fissures in our system. It pulls apart people. We have our issues of caste, we have our issues of language, our religion, so many things which pull us apart also. But at the same time, there are people in this country who believe that despite all our diversities, we are one country, we are one nation, right? And there are people who try to divide us. Because when I say people, people make fun that foreign hand, but of course there is foreign hand. Who likes the idea of another country becoming more important than the others, right? It was a unipolar world, just America. Then there was the G2, that Russia to hati gaya tha, Soviet Union hati gaya tha, Soviet Union broke up, and there's Russia. Now there's China. China has a worldview that this America is a dying, decaying power, it is us. Europe is anyway falling apart because of various reasons. So China wants to come into that single unipolar world where they are the one thing. That is Xi Jinping's wet dream. So he wants that, all right? He wants to be there. Here is an India which is rising and coming up. So it doesn't suit anybody's purpose. And of course, there are people in our neighborhood who are not comfortable with that idea. And even friends of ours are not comfortable with the idea. People who are our allies in some way or the other, if you want to call it ally, our friends, our neighbors who saying, who likes if your neighbor suddenly becomes prosperous, ultra prosperous, even in a society, dekh lo aap. In a housing society, if one person suddenly gets a Mercedes, suddenly in the sense of 3 साल में suddenly gets, right? एक Mercedes भी खरीद लिया, 3-4 घर में house help भी आ गया, suddenly they're wearing designer clothes and like, oh, look at this. Well, what is this? Johnny come lately. How's he become? So I'm just saying that even in a housing society, you have that problem. So imagine country-wise, like neighborhood also. Some countries have policymakers who are smart enough and say that, hey, here's a country which is going to become super $1 trillion economy, and we are still in $1 billion economy. Let's join with them. Let's have trade routes with them, free trade agreement with them, so that, we can join up with them. Sri Lanka is a country which is thinking like that. That somebody who wants to come to India for tourism, let's make our airport in such a manner that वो पहले श्रीलंका आएगा, वो 2 दिन श्रीलंका में कोलंबो में रुक जाएगा, do a little bit of tourism here because their tourism industry is great, do tourism here and then go to Mabalipuram, go to Chennai. So can do customs and immigration here only and then go there. So airport to airport you join, right? So you never know. The Middle East might turn around and say, that's great. Here's a country with whom we can do this. We can have this arrangement. So more people think of this Vasudeva Kutumbakam that we talk about, where you have these kind of arrangements.
What does it translate to? One world.
Yeah, one world. Yeah, basically means that while we talk about, that make in India, we should be self-reliant and all, we also look at the world that it's one world. So when you do something good in your country, you share it with others. You make vaccines, give it to countries which can't cope with the COVID situation in their country. You don't turn around and say, hey, we haven't yet given COVID to all our people, so no, let's hold it. We're not going to give it to the others. No, we have that hydrochloroquine or whatever that was. We gave it to countries which needed it. We needed medicines. So there was all that vaccine Maitri was just about that you look at the world, look at education. You have to think beyond, and we do not look at it as brain drain. I've seen some of the thing that you have done, podcasts that you have done. There is a maturity which is coming in our country now. We're not looking at people who went out of the country as a brain drain. We're looking at them now investing back in our country, right? There was a time, Ranveer, when people went, like super specialists who went, they studied in medical colleges, they had to give a bond. They had to pay 1 lakh rupees to the government because they studied in a government medical college, and then they 1 lakh or 2 lakhs, I don't remember exact amount, pay back to the government because they studied in a government and they had subsidized education and they were going to America. They had to get a permit. For super specialists, had to get a permit, like a surgeon leaving the country and going, had to get a permit to go out. Today, we don't see all that, right? We see this, that, okay, you're going there. You're in Ajay Banga. You're going there. Tum MasterCard ko head kar rahe ho. MasterCard is going to invest here. We're going to have, there's a give and take that happens. So there's a larger worldview, and we are more confident. Your generation is going to get ultra more confident about it. Yeah. Don't shy away from what we are.